Howdy, Cowboy Gamer here, and you're listening to the 5th episode of the Portable Gaming Podcast. Again, I would love to pause and just have all of a sudden another co-host start talking and you guys just flip out that I have someone else here to talk to, so it's not just me. But again, my search continues to find a suitable co-host, someone that actually is passionate about the stuff I'm talking about handhelds. And most people are just, I probably just have very high requirements for a co-host, but people really, I have a weird schedule, other people have weird schedules, and it's just not matching up pretty well. And a couple other people already have podcasts, so they'd rather have me shut down mine and just join theirs. I'm not up for doing that yet, so we'll see. Maybe I'll move over, but yeah. And again, if you weren't here for last week's, I am no longer doing very much with smart devices. I'm not going to throw in news on them. I'm still going to play some smart device games, but if you want me to talk about something regarding to smart device games, let me know. Hit me up in the comments or something, and I will see what I can do. So, as always, let's start off with what I have been playing a lot. And I haven't been doing a lot of some of these, but there's still something I'm doing every week. So, Nintendo Street Pass games. I've still simplified it down to just the 3 games, Warrior's Way, Ultimate Angler, and Battleground Z. But I'm slowly kind of falling away from these. I get some Street Passes, and sometimes it's a long time before I use all of them, and I usually get up to my 10 and just sit there and don't use them up and play games. So it's getting harder and harder to play these games lately, which is not the greatest, but I used to be a lot more into it. But again, I've got a lot of other games, and I guess if I'm sitting there playing those, I'd much rather be playing something else. Pokemon Shuffle, though, is probably what I've been doing mostly on my 3DS. I fell away from it before. When we got it, I played it a bit. It was nice. It was a simple game. It was free, and I wasn't going to spend any money for the jewels to make the game give me more playthroughs or level up my guys or get money, anything like that. And I'm still staying with that. I'm not going to spend any money on this. It's gotten me close a couple of times, but I'm not going to spend money. Last week I was working on trying to level up all my level 1s to level 2s. I actually have found a few websites that show all the base stats and moves of different Pokemon, so I'm kind of being a little more picky on what Pokemon I'm trying to level up. But it's not bad. It's definitely a fun idea. I'm trying to get more S ranks. Pretty much that's the best you can do. When you play against a Pokemon, if you beat it, you get a C, B, A, or S rank. And the more S ranks you get, the better things do. If you get enough S ranks, you unlock the expert stages of Pokemon, and then you can beat those, and all the expert stages are timed, so that's kind of what I've been doing. I had to get about 15 to 20 S ranks, and then I unlocked Mewtwo. Now, I have not beaten Mewtwo, but I'm really wanting to, because he's one of the... he has a better base and good move skill to get the Mega Mewtwo, technically. So that's what I've been working on. I've also been sending a ton of tweets to Nintendo and to the makers of Pokemon Shuffle and everything, trying to get things like amiibo support into this, getting easier ways to scroll through the Pokemon, just different things like that to improve the game, because they've been announcing how they got 4 million downloads, 4.5 million downloads, how they're updating the game, they're adding more to the game because people are doing it. And they're showing that they're going to do more with this game, but I think they can keep getting the money, but they need to keep adding in good ways. They need to keep adding more Pokemon. They need to get all the Pokemon eventually on this thing. And the special events that you can do weekly and monthly are still kind of fun. I've been working on those. I'm also, the max level of Pokemon can get to is a level 10. I've got one level 9, and I'm just trying to get some level 10 Pokemon, because that'd be great. Probably get maybe eventually 30-some Pokemon all the way up to level 10. Just get some really powerhouse squads, but, I've been putting way too much time. I think, after I fell off, I was just under 40 hours, and I think I've already put about 15 hours, which is really crazy since every 2.5 hours you get 5 plays, and that's it. So, some of the plays have been like 10-minute plays, but yeah, that's blowing my mind at how much time I'm putting into this game. My one smart device game is still Star Wars Commander. It is getting more of a pain in my butt. Mostly because now people are attacking me more often, and they're taking my money and everything, and which means I'm not getting to the money caps, and I'm not being able to spend my money to upgrade certain things that I really need to. So I need to work on now getting more defenses around my town and creating a better town setup so I can have a chance at finally beating this game. And again, this game drives me nuts. I want to beat it. I want to get it done this year, but it's starting to worry me that I won't get this game done until the end of the year. On the Vita front, I haven't been playing as much Minecraft lately. After my last podcast, I was still working on my my minecart stuff and getting that trophy. I finally got my minecart trophy, and I built a minecart path down in my mine, and I've gotten a lot more trophies. I'm getting a lot closer to finally platinuming that. It's just now I'm getting towards the end of the game trophies, the ones that are really hard, and a few of them have to do with the Nether. So I've just kind of been slowing down and not putting as much time, mostly because I've been putting so much time into Pokemon Shuffle. So I need to figure out, do I really want to just platinum this, or do I want to keep working on Pokemon Shuffle? Luckily, Pokemon Shuffle has only 5 plays every 2.5 hours, so I can get some time. However, on to the main Vita game I've been playing. I picked up a copy of Final Fantasy X HD. Now, I love Final Fantasy X. All my friends love it. I can't even think of how many times they have all played Final Fantasy X cumulatively. They've all played it multiple times. I don't even know how many times they've beaten the game, or to what levels they've all beaten it, or just, it's mind-blowing. I've literally watched most of the game already before, and that's just sitting in people's rooms, hanging out with them while they play the game, and so I've seen most of the cinematics. But I have never beaten the game. I got about maybe a quarter of the way through once, but I never could beat it. So now I've been putting a lot more time into my portable systems. So I have been thinking about it since I got my Vita, but I didn't want to download it because of how much space it took up on the system, because it's pretty much the entire hard drive. So I went out and picked up a physical copy, and I put it in, and I haven't been playing too much. It's like an hour here, an hour there, but man, in HD, I remember how good it is. I've even picked up I've got a copy of the soundtrack that I've been listening to, and man, I remember what was so good about this game. It's just so great. So I'm not that far. I'm only about 6 hours in, and I'm playing it a little slow. I had way too much trouble on the 2 cloister tests, and those are the easy ones, but I had way too much trouble with them. Also, I'm kind of going through kind of slowly and leveling up some guys pretty well before I keep going farther on. So, one positive note that I've never done before, I actually got Jet Shot, which I've started the game multiple times before, and I've never been able to get it, and I just went on. But with the Vita version, it's part of the trophy requirements. So I was like, I've got to get Jackshot. I have to restart this game however long it takes until I get Jackshot. Plus, I want to do some Blitzball stuff eventually, and I just need Jackshot. So I'm super glad I finally sat down and played long enough and got this game. And I think it'll be more easy for me to play and beat or get farther in because it's on the Vita. It's on a handheld that I can go anywhere and always be able to play instead of only sitting here at home on my PS2 and playing that. And don't get me wrong, I loved it on the big screen, but I don't really want to break out the PS2 and get it. I know it's on PS3, but I just have to buy another game, and I figure if I'm going to, might as well spend just a little bit of money and get it on a handheld that I can always take everywhere. So that's what I've been playing this week. Some really good loves. I know some of my listeners, if you're listening to this, you give me a thumbs up for Final Fantasy X at least. I hope the people, my friends that are going to listen to this, make it this far because it's Final Fantasy X. Come on. On to the gaming news. There's been a lot of negative news regarding Nintendo at the digital event with Metroid and some of the Triforce stuff. I'm not really going to talk about that. I will bring up that Nintendo has stated that there is no amiibo support for Zelda Triforce Heroes, but that's not that big of a deal. I'm not too bothered by that. One thing that I do enjoy, and I am happy for, even though I haven't been playing it much, Smash Brothers got all those new characters, and Sakurai, and if you don't know who that is, he is the director of Smash Brothers. He did an interview with Famitsu, and he stated that there would be more characters created, and he stated that Lucas, Roy, and Ryu were great, but there's still more characters coming. Those three were already in development before the Smash polls started, and Sakurai states that he wants to cater to his fans. He wants to give them what they want. So that means the polls actually could be legit. That means that, like, there might be problems if there's a third-party person, but they have Ryu, so there is some really strong possibilities that we could get Shovel Knight, which would be amazing. Just the idea of him would be a great amiibo to buy. It would just be really fun. So we will see what happens with that. Pokemon Shuffle is coming to iOS and Android. Now, some people are freaking out about this, and some people are just, Nintendo wants more money because the 3DS version is probably getting them some money. I'm kind of in the middle. I don't care one way or the other. I'm going to play it on my 3DS since I carry it around as much as my phone. However, there could be one way that I would be super excited, and that is if they link the accounts together so that either if you get Pokemon Shuffle on your smart device, it links up and so you start at the same levels, or they cross save so that if you level up on your Android at one time, then you can go over here. Now, there's going to be a lot of problems with that because of the heart system. You probably could break it and get 5 hearts on one, 5 on the other, and double the amount, but I've played it so much on my 3DS that I'm not going to start over and play it on my Android and just go all the way back to the beginning. I'm just not. I might get some certain Pokemon, but I've put too many hours into the 3DS version. Now, I would love it, again, like I said, if they would add Amiibo support, just because it would be so great. And it doesn't have to be amazing. I mean, just each Pokemon Amiibo gives you like one more heart during the day, and you can only use it once every 24 hours, something like that. Or I also threw out on a Twitter to Nintendo of America, hey, we have a Charizard, we have eventually a Mewtwo, we have Lucario. How about if you scan those, you get the Mega Stone, because the Lucario
was given out in a competition, but you had to place in a certain percentage, or the top grouping. I think it was 40,000 or whatever. Now, some people didn't place in that top grouping, so they didn't get the Mega Stone for Lucario. I was not even aware of the competition because I wasn't playing it at the time, so I don't have it. So how can I get that Mega Stone? Because I would really like Lucario, and people are saying how amazing Lucario is in the game. So I would like a way of getting this Mega Stone back. So that would be great. It would actually give me a reason to go find a Lucario and buy it for the extra amiibo support. Now, I understand the 3DS, the normal, they're probably waiting until they get the portal out for the old 3DS. I know the new 3DS does have the NFC built in, and it's on because it works with Smash, but right now, I mean, you're only really catering to the new 3DS crowd. That's a really small amount, so cost effectively, it's probably not worth it, but it could be something that would add some more life to the game, and they could be like, hey, we're releasing the portal for the old 3DSs, so now you have amiibo support. Oh, and by the way, we're adding amiibo support to this game, and this game, all on the 3DS. Awesome. That would be great. But we'll see. I'm not super positive it's going to happen, but it'd be a nice surprise. The Miiverse is going to be getting an update this summer. It is going to add screenshots, so you can have 100 screenshots that you can save, and it is going to have a play journal, which allows you to make notes and write your thoughts about a game or parts in a game. The big question I have, and a lot of other people have, will this be a faster, or is this a somewhat setup to the DNA like super account or something like that? That's a lot of the questions that we have, and the sad thing is only time's going to tell. We're going to have to just wait, see what happens, and maybe it turns out amazing, maybe it's just the same old Miiverse with more stuff, and it takes just as long to load. Oh well, it's not something I use a lot. More with Mario Kart, when I upload a video to YouTube, I also can do a post on Miiverse, but oh well. A lot of you may like this, though you probably already have the game, but Shovel Knight is getting a physical release for the 3DS. Now that is really awesome. Shovel Knight was a great game. I picked it up pretty quick, and I loved my playthrough. I probably would like to play it through again, but really good game. The fact that it's on physical is probably going to throw it out, and a bunch of people that didn't know it existed because they don't check out the eShop too much will see it, and they'll probably pick it up in stores. So probably a lot more kids are going to be having this game pretty shortly, but we'll see how well it goes. I mean, it sold well enough on the eShop, and it's popular enough that they wanted to make it physical, and it's coming out on most other systems. However, the PS Vita is not getting a physical release that we know of yet, so a little worried about that. But again, with Sony not caring about it that much, I don't think other people are caring about it either. However, to prove that, we'll jump to the Sony news, but to prove that the Vita is not as dead as people think, the PS Vita sales doubled in Japan this week compared to last week. Now, a couple of news places contribute this to Persona 4 Dancing All Night that came out. I mean, who knows? It's probably a good reason, but the fact that the Vita sales are up is good. That it's still being purchased. It's not super amazing, but it's still pretty good. The 3DS XL sold about the same amount as the Vita this week, and again, that's probably because of Fire Emblem Fates, or since we're in Japan, Fire Emblem If. Yeah, that's just a whole nother mess. On a better note for PS Vita, PlayStation Plus members, you guys get some games. You get 3 games this week, so that's pretty cool. They are Entwined, which is kind of a comparison flying game where you're 2 creatures, a bird and a fish kind of, and you have squares that are lit up in circles that you try to fly through and level up your not level up, but level up gauges on the top of the screen. And really all it does is then get you to another level, and you try and collect some things, and there's your level beat. Not super amazing, but it's free, so maybe I'll give it a shot. Geometry Wars 3 is coming out July 7th, and if you're a PlayStation Plus, you get it for free right when it comes out, which is kind of cool that they're releasing a brand new game, but people are saying that this isn't really that great of a version, that there's better Geometry War games, and you might as well just rather be playing Resogun or something. So, we'll see. It's just one of those space shooters, kind of a 3-dimensional asteroid game. But I bought some Geometry War games and I've played some on other systems, so I'll probably be playing this just because it's free. Mousecraft, a puzzle game that you try to get around levels as mice, kind of a Lemmings type game, and you're avoiding this cat, but you also can change the levels or build onto the levels, and that might be a level maker. I haven't really looked enough into this game. I just quick done the trailers and see what it is, but it's at least worth me downloading and playing for a few minutes and seeing if I enjoy it. So those are the 3 PlayStation Plus games that you're getting free for the month of July, but it's not super great, but for a few bucks a month, if you're doing the full year pack or any of the higher ones, it's not too bad. One game that I do want to make kind of a special mention for that just caught my eye is called Slain. It's scheduled for 2016 currently on the Vita. PS or PC will come out a lot earlier than that, but it's kind of a gothic 8-bit looking Castlevania game, only instead of a whip you have a sword. There's a lot of more gore in this game, but it's 8-bit. It's pretty horribly done. But it's just more of a, hey, there's things with spikes, or there's things trying to crush you and you explode. But I mean, in the world of Castlevanias and Metroid remakes and different variations on the game, I mean, especially along with Iga's Bloodstained game, I'm kind of interested in seeing what more is getting on, or what more this game could hold. It looks like it's a fairly good platform / side scroller, so I might it might stay on my radar a little longer, and I might actually care or pay attention when a trailer comes out and see who's making it and what else they've done, and see what is worth it. As I mentioned before, Shovel Knight is not coming out on the Vita that we know of at the moment for a physical release, but oh well. Also, this is not confirmed. This is just a couple of news sites picked this up, but there was a possible note that Assassin's Creed Chronicles might be coming out for the Vita November 19th. Now, this isn't a PlayStation website. This was another website that put this out, and who knows if this is completely believable, but Assassin's Creed Chronicles is that 2.5D side-scrolling kind of game where you are you're the assassin, and you've got the 3 different China, Russia, and some other country that you do a short little snippet of. But it's Assassin's Creed. They're trying something out new, and I don't know. I've never been super big into the Assassin's Creed games, but I'm gonna at least pay attention, see if this pans out. Maybe I try Assassin's Creed in 2.5D instead of. I've played it on a
console, and I didn't get very far, and it wasn't kind of my jam, but maybe this is something a little more fun that I might try out. Games coming out in the kind of near future, as well as some other things. For Nintendo, we have Mercenary Saga 2 should be out this week on the eShop. Also on the eShop is a ton of themes this month. There's also a bunch of sales, but really they're mostly all weird games that are cheap indie games, so not super awesome there. But for themes, you have the Pokemon ones, the Eevee collection, the Mega Charizard. You also have a whole bunch of Ace Attorney themes, so if you're into the themes for your 3DS, yay, you. On the Sony side, this week and next week, like I stated before, Geometry Wars 3 Dimensions is coming out on the 7th, and for PlayStation Plus you get it free. Also, there on the July 15th there is Ant-Man Pinball. So that, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Ant-Man, and I know people are pushing it. And usually whenever there's a movie, they try to put out a pinball, but not something super exciting for me. One thing of note, I could be wrong. Maybe I just missed something. I hope I'm not missing this. I'm hoping something is not up that's really bad, but I have been looking around for upcoming release information on Severed. It's put out by Drinkbox, but I've been checking some of the major websites, and a couple of them have pulled it from their 2015 release window, which is really worrying me. It was scheduled for early 2015, then I think it went to Q2 2015. There's been no information from Drinkbox, but I've been just going through some of the release date information, and Severed was up there towards the top since it's kind of Q2, and it's not there. Now, it could just be a weird glitch, or somebody could know something that I don't, but I've been hearing a lot of great things about Severed, and I've been seeing a lot of great things. I've been emailing some ideas into Drinkbox and actually getting some responses, so that makes me happy. But I do know that Drinkbox has been putting out a lot of Guacamelee stuff. They've been really pushing this, and maybe they've been getting some great ideas for monsters or some new things, and they want to expand on this game and give it some more time in development, or maybe they're having a lot more trouble with the touchscreen getting all of this in, but I don't know. I know they've been showing off, going to some conferences, and they have a booth at a couple of them, so I know they've been showing this game. I just don't know to what degree they are showing it. But that's just something weird I've been noticing, and I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I hope something happens, but only time will tell. But when it does, I mean, for my birthday, I already got a $20 PlayStation Store gift card, so as soon as Severed gets announced, I'm popping this in and I am buying it, so I have no problems there. But that's it for me. Sorry for the super short show, but again, I've got no co-host, so there's no banter back and forth, there's no randomness. I've just been getting straight to the facts. That way you guys don't have to have my voice grading you guys, and for those that do listen to the whole thing, it just makes it a little easier to listen in that 1 hour window you guys probably have. But I hope you enjoy, comment, let me know what you're thinking, problems you have, and again, if you think you would like to be a co-host on here and you'd be a part of this, I'm happy with 2. I'd be happy with a 3rd, whatever. I'm super open to this and expanding upon it. So I will see you guys next time.